Hello and welcome. You're watching The Marketing Mirror. Whoops. There I am. Hi. Hello. You're watching The Marketing Mirror. I'm Sue Ann with Right Mix for Business, and it's a pleasure to have you here today. If you're watching from LinkedIn or YouTube, please leave me a comment to let me know because I'm as you can tell, not in my studio. And if you were watching last week by any chance, I dropped my mic, not for the first time, but for the last time because I killed it. I had to use a laptop mic. So this week I'm back. I'm doing my 9th live. I started with audio and now I'm trying to be braver and come to you on video. I have to admit, it's a lot easier to come to you live on video when I have a co-host. It takes a little bit of the pressure off, but I didn't want to miss. Like I said, this is the 9th live. Started with audio only on LinkedIn. If you're on the LinkedIn side, please let me know, or the YouTube side. I see there are a couple of viewers, at least I see that. So thank you for being here. I hope that you've been enjoying the shows because I find some of the people's interactions on the LinkedIn audios to be so interesting, so intriguing. And we've heard from so many great people, which I thought was really fantastic. I do want to mention, I do want to give a shout out because I do have a new mic today. So also, if you're listening in, let me know if that sounds good. It's a HyperX. And I want to give a hat tip to Jody Krangle, who is a professional voiceover artist. If you haven't watched my trailer on this channel, watch that trailer because you'll get to hear the exquisite voice of Jody Krangle. And she told me to try the HyperX. I think that's what she uses on her podcast shows, not for her professional work, but on her podcast. So I think I did want to give a shout out to Jody because this HyperX is really a cool mic. To mute yourself, you just gently tap the top of it, and when it's on, it has lights like rainbow lights, like all different color lights, which I find fun and cool. But it lets you know that you're live. It has some features for settings that are a little bit different. I still may need to work on that. This is the first time using it. I was excited to get it set up. So let me know if you're not hearing me or if you have any problems with how this mic's working. But I'm excited. Oh, and a shout out to Roberto Blake, who helped me with the settings on StreamYard to help make sure I don't get echo and so forth. I think I saw something coming up. Michelle Troutman, shout out to you, Michelle, if you're watching. I saw that you put something on LinkedIn. I'm trying not to touch any of my other devices today so I don't screw anything up. But again, welcome for being here. I'm so glad to see you. I'm Sue Ann, Right Mix for Business. This is the Marketing Mirror Live. This is week 9. So today's topic, I think, is really, really important because I think that we need to understand that human experiences are what our marketing should be. Our marketing should be human to human. Our digital everything, our digital content, our social media marketing in particular, it needs to have that human connectivity. We had a lot of people on the show coming up to this week that talked about things like engagement and interaction and how important it is to have that one-on-one conversation with your clients and your community, because that's the best way that you can help them when you really understand them by talking to them and working with them. So I kind of wrote this little opening. I want to share it with you. So genuine human experiences conveyed through stories and visuals with compassion and empathy and true thought leadership come from the hearts and minds of unique humans, and they can't be replaced by AI, making human interaction and relationships invaluable, even in this flexing digital age. So while AI operated use cases quickly develop, it seems like every second, none are as powerful as we are as feeling, learning, and loving humans. Through shared humanity and care for each other, Our services and products aim to help customers in a myriad of ways. Still, guys, the secret remains. Customer care and happiness lead to loyal clients and brand fans for our businesses. Producing that helpful and producing that helpful and targeted content, regardless of your preferred delivery medium, allows you to connect with people authentically and meaningfully. Interacting with people builds trust, relationships, and ultimately new business and partnership opportunities, cutting to the core of digital marketing. So, as always, it's human to human for the business win. So, I don't know about you guys, but when I'm working with clients, I think sometimes um, I don't know if they think that there's some other motive sometimes, but you have to know that when you reach out to somebody to partner with them, that you have to have a trust in them. And like when I'm working for a client, I think of them as a partner. So everything I do, everything I say, everything I propose, I'm really trying in their best interest, because there's no other skin in the game for me than to do well with them. And oh, here's Lisa. She says, we are hearing me. Yay, and well with my new mic. Ah ha ha. That's my other channel. That's my Jim. Hi, Jim. Hi, babe. And we have a LinkedIn user saying, oh, Lisa's on the LinkedIn side today, too. Hi, Sue Ann, glad to be here. The new mic sounds great. It sounds like a good one. I'm going to guess that might be Lee again, but I'm not sure because I'm not getting the user thing. Maybe I have to put a StreamYard link in LinkedIn like you used to have to do on Facebook so that people would come through. Although look at Lisa came through with her face. We'll have to figure that one out, you guys. But anyway, that said, where, it's all about the human, it's all about the relationship, it's all about engaging with each other. That said, we are right now part of an amazing, enlightening, and robust evolution in the digital space. And we have new and exciting chances to discover innovative and creative possibilities more than ever before. So embracing the digital revolution, in my opinion, relishing in the vast tech capabilities right at our fingertips, and experimenting and learning with wild abandon are all integral to developing our business models of the future. So that's one of the things I wanted to say. Oh, and by the way, you guys, this mic is so cool. You just tap the top of it and it'll mute. So you don't have to mess with your, dashboard or your computer. I just want to throw that in, another little mic note. So I think so what I'm saying is that human interaction and humanity, human connection, all that stuff is really the thing. So I want to talk to you a little bit about digital marketing today, which has to do a little bit with investigating AI, because what's interfering with our human interaction? What's interfering with that one-to-one conversation? It's those bots and that AI produced content and all the things that you can get AI to do for you that takes you out of the equation. And again, since we've been talking about social media and how the platforms are changing and how social media is evolving, it really kind of goes back to the Stone Age of marketing, which is it's a one-to-one relationship. It's a customer and you. And I've always said that the most important thing about marketing is valuing your customers. If you value your customers and they value you, you've hit that bridge where you have a really good thing going, in my opinion. So let's take a look at what I have to say about this. So when we're thinking about incorporating AI into our marketing mix and our marketing plan, remember what I just said about human to human wins. Yay, human to human wins. So genuine human experiences conveyed through stories and visuals. Now, visual storytelling can be done in many ways. It can be done with words, you guys. It's, you can create a lot of visual, people can see through words, and my friend Henneke is a pro at that. So being descriptive, using savory words, people can feel it, they can be part of it. You can do connect stories through photographs without any words at all, or with graphics, or perhaps with infographics, or as I call Henneke's, info drawings. But what you're doing is you're communicating in a human to human way. You're adding those things that communicate with visuals, with words that really are empathetic and show compassion for humanity. And these are things that AI cannot do. So true thought leadership also comes from that. I guess and hope you guys would agree that true thought leadership isn't something that you're going to get from your AI. And also, I think you need to think about, where does AI fit in for you in particular? So before we get into it, I want to say that I'm human to human, and our tools are all about creating human connection. So even when we're using tools in our marketing toolkit, it's still about creating human connection. So I still say AI is a pretty cool tool, and I think most of you agree. So here's the thing. You want to experiment and learn, like I said, reckless abandon. Try things. I suggest, and I try to make sure that I have at least one day or one afternoon, one time slot a week that I just blow off work, blow off clients, and try to learn something new, try to work on something that I'm trying to figure out in the tech space, and or learning new tools. This is a good way to stay on top of your industry and be able, if those tools don't apply to you and your needs, they may apply to a client and their needs. And so if you're aware of them, if you tested them, it really helps you to bring that experience to your clients. And so I want you to discover those innovative and creative possibilities. I want you to relish in the opportunities. Okay? Okay. So why AI? Well, we have to think about your key objectives. What are you trying to accomplish, and what's hanging you up? Because there's AI that can solve what's hanging you up. So for me, I don't want help writing. I use writing to think, to organize, to get my ideas for content in order. So I enjoy writing. I'll use AI to check my writing, or to check that I've covered everything in a topic, things like that. So it's interesting because everybody will have different key objectives for incorporating AI into their workflow. And for example, Cast Magic is a great one for me because, for example, when I do a show like this, whether it's audio or video, I can put that audio or video file into my Cast Magic, and guess what? I can have the whole transcript, and then I can build so many things off of there for repurposing and narrowing down messaging from that content. So you also have to think about, what are the opportunities that you will not reach if you don't have this kind of assistance. So, opportunities for me with visuals, because I'm not an artist. And so I like to play around in that space, right? So you have to think about, what opportunities are there in AI that are solving things I can't do and meeting those key objectives for myself and my business and what I want to accomplish. And then, of course, you have to do assessments on all of these things so that you know what's working, what's not, what do you recommend, what do you keep in your toolkit, what, right? What a what. So that's this is just kind of giving you like kind of broad frameworks, but I think also still helpful, especially if we're trying to keep in mind that human to human still wins and always wins. So when we're talking about using AI in our marketing, and since we've been focusing these last several weeks on social media marketing in particular, I want to remind you always to remember customer goals, because your customer goals and your business goals are going to be, if you just concentrate on customer goals, you could have a winning strategy without looking further. Because if you're helping people, if you're serving your audience with what they need to know, if you're giving them tips and tactics, are they original? Are they from an experienced perspective? Like if you're just giving tips and tactics that you can pull off AI and not really offering more to that customer care and customer experience, then maybe you need to think about what are my customers' goals? What do they really need to know? What am I trying to educate them on and help them, find out new tactics to accomplish and how to go about things, or where to strategize, where to put your resources, because a lot of people are flopping around because they're in too many directions, or they're not clear. Their website says they do one thing and their newsletter says they do another. We can't discern what is it that they do. And if we can't discern that looking at it from the outside, how are they reaching customer goals? How are they even targeting a customer? So there's things like that. And when you work with people, they don't see their own things because they're so inside of it. So a lot of times when you're coming in and looking at a client's work from an outside perspective, they're surprised at what you see, but you don't know their business. So when here's how I look at it, and this happened to me recently. Someone looked at my website, a colleague, and said, I don't get this. And I'm like, what? And she's like, what are you trying to do? So I told her, and she's like, makes perfect sense. But then I thought, if she has to think, how does this make perfect sense? Then maybe I'm not doing it correctly. Maybe if that customer or that new person coming in, looking at your content, looking at your website, has to ask themselves that question, then maybe you're not doing it very clearly. So you really have to think about that customer and user-centric approach and what do they need. And of course, you have business goals. We're not just doing this to twiddle our thumbs for fun. It's because we want to attract and gain new clients. So hit me up if you need writing. And social media marketing is what we've been talking about. So I'm putting that at the center between the customer goals and the business goals. So how does our social media marketing make those things meld so that we're not just putting out social as a blast, but we're actually connecting the dots that lead back to gaining business? Now, I just bumped my mic, but I wonder if anyone heard anything when that happened, because I bumped it with my hand. I'm not sure. Well, it'll be interesting to check. Okay, moving on. So how do you want to decide what to use or what not to use with your AI? Well, I think you need to do that needs assessment. Where am I lacking? How can AI help me? For me, I'm not so worried about writing, but I am worried about like things that I'm doing with trying to make a character, for example, for the show, or creating visuals that are unique and above my own artistic capability, learning about how to do things with video, using something to get shorts because I'm not the best video editor, things like that. So you have to, and your needs assessment again should be focused on what's going to get you to connect with and have interaction with a client most effectively. That's a biggie there too. So your needs assessment's based on a lot of things when you're looking at these tools. You'll also want to have these tools be ease of use per you. So I have tools I love. My colleagues have tools they love. I love this tool. I try it. I can't make heads or tails of it. I'm floundering. I don't find it easy to use. And I think that's a huge thing. I think that people have to, I'm trying to see if any of these comments that are showing on my phone have anything to do with this, but I think I'm getting in the studio if you're replying to the live video. So anyway, so that ease of use has to be per you, right? It has to be what works for you, and what works for you might not work for your buddy. But again, there's nothing wrong with testing things and finding out what works for you, what slips into your toolkit most, with smooth grace and ease. So we want to also think about, streamlining your workflow. If you find a tool that you love and it just doesn't fit your workflow, have you had that happen? I have too. I think that's a key thing. So when you're using these tools, if they're not streamlining your workflow, if they're not fitting into your process, that can be a problem. And, think about these things when you're doing this assessment of not only what you need to test, but how you test it and what you're going to use it for. Michelle, let's see what Michelle has to say. when I bumped the mic, it wasn't too loud. Oh, that's good news. Yes, this is a brand new mic. If you weren't here at the beginning, Michelle, and I'm all really excited. Jody Krangle, my voiceover actor friend, suggested this. It's a gamer act. When you pick it up, it's so lightweight, it's like a feather, and you just touch the top of the mic and it mutes. It's just incredible. And the rainbow lights. Did I mention the rainbow lights? Of course, I love that. So you want your tools to have those solutions to productivity or something else. It's not always productivity that you're trying to accomplish. That seems like the thing I hear most with AI, and it bothers me in a way because we don't want to be, I'm sorry guys, we don't want to be a assembly line. We don't want to just be throwing out jazz like this is the content mill. Here's your, I'm just spitting out stuff. We want it to be more meaningful than that. We want to find the other ways that these tools are assets aside from and on top of creativity, in my opinion. Also, we want them to make it, we want tools that are repeatable, like easy to repeat the procedure, like to get into your workflow or process. We want them to be reliable. So we're going to want to look and make sure these tools have a good foundation, that, they have some leadership, that they have some longevity, that they have something behind them. Because if you get into a tool and it disappears, there's nothing more frustrating. So check it out. Also, my friend Lee Love suggested to me a while back, and I think it's a great idea. When you're testing some of these and they're paid, only do them a month basis at first, a month or two, and then you can cancel easier than paying for a year and being stuck in it if you find it's not going to be something that flows into your stuff and it's not going to be reliable. And you might find that it may not be reasonable in price or in another way. So reasonable might be, budget constraint ruled, depending on your situation. So all this stuff has a factor, or is a factor. So you want somebody who has a product that they're constantly iterating and improving. And we've run into this on some of the products that we use. Like, I'm messing around with different video editors now than sticking with only the one that I've used for many years, which was Camtasia, because they don't do some of the stuff that some of the newer stuff's doing with ease. And I'm not really that technically advanced, in case you haven't noticed, but these tools make it easier. So, but things are changing so fast that they can become obsolete. If they're not changing, if they're not bringing AI into their thing, there's so many things. They have to be iterating and improving so that you can iterate and improve with them in your game and how you're using them. So that's another consideration. I'm not sure that's one everyone thinks about. Also, you want compatibility with the set toolkit you're using. So sometimes somebody tells you about this great product or tool and you love it. It sounds really great, but it upsets the whole apple barrel. It makes you kind of like wipe out everything you've been doing and switch it to something else altogether. And I'm not one to upset the apple cart. Maybe I'm old school. If it isn't broken, don't fix it. Or maybe I'm new school, overwhelmed with AI, and I'm like, simplicity rules, and get a set toolkit that is reliable and compatible and works in your work. Maybe that's it. I'm not sure. But this, I think, is an important factor. So also, again, is it expandable and durable? So will it stand the test of time, and will it grow with you? Or some things like, did you ever get something and you use it and then you realize you need to go way beyond what it offers? So it becomes obsolete because it's not durable or expandable, which might have been a little bit of what I said previously with some of this, with them iterating and improving. But, these are things to keep in mind. Also, there's other considerations, and again, it'll depend on your particular need. So what are some of the tools that you guys are finding to be the most helpful with AI? Because I'm going to talk about or mention a few that I've been playing with and that I've been using, and I've been using in different ways. And you can let me know if you're using them, if you're not using them. If you're not here live on a replay, just go ahead and leave any comments or questions or your thoughts, because I'm really curious what everybody's up to. But the first one that most people are using, and of course I'm using too, is ChatGPT. But one thing I want to say about ChatGPT for y'all is this. So ChatGPT has the paid version and the free version. I'm using the free version. Oh, sounds crazy, right? You can do a lot more with the paid version. I get that. I understand that. And I'm doing really good with what I use it for in the free version right now. But I have a tool called Cast Magic, and Cast Magic lets me use Magic Chat AI, which is the paid version of ChatGPT-4. There are many tools that are built on ChatGPT, and they are offering you those premium features through their software. So you may not have to pay for premium ChatGPT if you're using other software, particularly AI software that is built from it. Think about that. That's an idea for you. And another one I like is Claude.io. If you haven't tried it, it's a ChatGPT type thing, but it's in that way, an AI in that way, but it's a little bit softer, a little bit more creative in its response sometimes, I think. Oh, Lisa has the best tool, Write Blogger. The Write Blogger suite of tools for AI. I'll have to get Lisa's link for that for you guys and put it in the show notes later, because she does a ton of stuff with Write Blogger. And I love some of the new things she's investigating with it. We were talking about it off camera before. And she has some videos on her channel. So visit Lisa's channel to learn more about Write Blogger. She was just interviewed by the founder of Write Blogger, and that's also an excellent interview with my friend and masterful blogger, SEO, and all the stuff, digital marketer, Lisa Sicard. So thanks for that input, Lisa. I think that's a great one. But Claude.io is it seems like it's more sensitive in its output. It's not as rigid maybe as ChatGPT. It's a little softer in my opinion. The other one that some of us have talked about before, but I want to bring up, is Perplexity AI. Now, Perplexity AI, in my opinion, is sort of more like a search engine question thing, more so than just the AI that ChatGPT or Claude.io is. Some people are comparing it more to a search engine, but I find it to be a really interesting AI. So if you haven't checked that out yet, please do. Here's another one for you. If you haven't tried this, I'm going to share this one on the screen for you. Notebook LM by Google. It's fairly new. And I was just happened to be messing around with it when my colleague, Miss Eileen, sent me something. And guess what? It was inside of a Notebook LM from Google. And this is a really interesting thing. Have you guys seen this yet? Let's see how I do this. Share screen. Haha. Share screen. Okay, I have to pick which one. Notebook. Haha. Share. Okay. Are you seeing my notebook, guys? Let's put it up there. Okay. So that is Notebook LM. So create your first notebook that tells you stuff. It does upload documents, convert complex material into easy to understand formats like FAQs and briefing docs. You can add key resources, so you can keep putting your resources in it. Here's some example notebooks they show you. They give you the introduction, how to use it, invention of the light bulb. You'll find these great. So if you haven't checked this out, but look at this. I'm going to go back a page, and I think it's still showing. Let me make sure. Yes. Okay. So it's still showing. I'm back a page. This is what my colleague sent me, which is a notebook with it's an audio file. And what I found out that this Notebook LM does, similar to, as I mentioned, Cast Magic earlier, is you can put a YouTube video in there and it will give you this audio file explaining it. But what's really unique is the audio file is done in like this very, like, I don't know, friendly manner. They talk to each other sort of, which is wild. Like there's two people, like it's a radio show and they're reviewing what the video was and they have this chit chat about it. What does Lisa say? She'd love to learn more about perplexity. Oh, maybe we'll have to make that an upcoming topic, Lisa, because it is so interesting. It's a good one. Let me remove this right now because I'm going to show you yet another screen. Oh my gosh, because this is another one that, oh, and by the way, you can use Microsoft Copilot also and for AI. I've only experimented with it a little bit. I'm not leaning into the Microsoft thing too much, but you can get DALL-E, which is a visual maker AI, through the Microsoft Copilot. So you can even check out DALL-E for free through Microsoft Copilot. So I know a lot of people are using DALL-E for visuals. So there's that. So my favorite, as I mentioned, is Cast Magic for doing all kinds of cool things with my audio and video scripts. Oh, here, I should give you this. If you're interested in trying it, that's my affiliate link. I've been talking about Cast Magic a lot this year because it's really cool what it does. You can get so many forms of content, and they're one of those companies who are iterating and growing. They have a really robust community, and they listen to what we users say, and they respond to that, and they add these functions. Right now, they're working on a way to produce shorts right out of your Cast Magic AI that's right now giving you transcripts. It gives you quotes from the video. It'll give you a quiz on what your video was about if you want to turn it into some kind of learning management system quiz or part of a course, or something, if you're covering a topic that can be translated into learning, or a workbook. It gives you LinkedIn posts. It gives you newsletters, LinkedIn newsletter, or a newsletter that you would send out through your ESP or email service provider. By the way, that's one of the places that I find that you have to really be careful, because you want your ESP to integrate with things. So that's a biggie for your AI toolkit. Watch for that. So it just does so many things. What else do I like? The quotes. So now you can do audiograms, and now they're starting to even integrate short clips. So it kind of, in my book, replaces Opus, because Opus, I again was doing on the free version, but they started putting all kinds of markings on it. Plus, they'll make a audio or a short of your video, but they pick out goofy, like it's not like I might be over here and the video, you know what I mean? It might show things other than where you're actually would want a short to concentrate, like what it's supposed to be watching. Another one I am loving, you guys, is Playground. And this is another one where I want to share screen, because this one is amazing. It's free. It started out giving you a whole lot more to play with when I first started doing it for free. Like, it gave you a whole lot more like number of things you could do in a day. But take a look. Oops, I'm probably not sharing it yet. I'm looking at it. Let me show you. There we go. These are some of my designs, guys. I'm too funny. I've got a lot of them, don't I? Here we go. Look, when I was figuring it, you'll see coming back here, that there's stuff when I was figuring out, like my thing for my buy me a coffee space. You'll see some studio stuff from, I think I made the studio in here. My my MC, here he is, my MC, if you remember I had an MC that I used for a video that I did with Miss Eileen. And so here he is. Look at all this stuff that I created on this. It's just too fun. And here's my wizard character. It took me so long to get a full-bodied wizard, and I did so many iterations. Like, I did days of this. But at the beginning, like I said, it gave you so many free makes on something that I went a little crazy. But now it has a little less, and it has some new functionality that it's bringing in. Some of these mic people I've used for some blog posts and some other artwork. So it's really fun, and you can do a lot with it. Here comes some magical lands, all the stuff. So I thought that was pretty fun. Let me remove that. And then another one is Leonardo AI. Leonardo, excuse me. If you haven't tried this, again, I'm using this as the free version, okay? But this is something I wanted to show you on here. I'm going to share screen one more time to show you. There it is. Okay. And then I have to share the screen. I'm starting to get the hang of this. So this is on my Leonardo, and you might recognize those from the show that I did with Lisa about Twitter is dead, or is it? But what's really cool that you need to know about Leonardo is this. Not only does it have, you can create images like this, but you can take it to an animated thing. So I made an image of somebody that was like a blogger, right? One of these with the blogger. Are you seeing that? Make sure you're seeing it. Yeah. So one of these with the blogger, and I made her into a motion. So I'm hitting motion on the top toolbar, and look, here's my blogger in a motion thing. I wonder if I can make this bigger. There. See that? So I changed a still image that I created in Leonardo to a motion image in Leonardo. How cool is that, you guys? Make your own memes and stuff. So I wanted to show you that because I thought that was super cool. So there are so many tools that, more tools than this. I just wanted to do a few for you today. And I just wanted to talk about really how important it is to keep that human to human nature in your content, and especially for social media. For example, too, there's a lady on LinkedIn who I like her. She has a newsletter and a show and a website called Linkability. And she's also a gardener. So she likes to do videos that she talks about things on LinkedIn, but she relates them to gardening. And she kind of has built a following about her simple, like, use the phone to create garden videos talking about marketing. So that's, I think, really something that's really important to do, is to incorporate your own stories, your personal stories, to build that human element. So there's one thing I wanted to read from you, because this just came incidentally yesterday while I was working on this show for a few days, from our friend Henneke. I always talk about Henneke and Enchanting Marketing because we're all her fan. We can't help it. But she's talking about the secret ingredient that turns casual readers into avid fans. So in her case, she's talking about, thanks, Lisa. That's for my motion thing, huh? Lisa, were you here when I mentioned, do you want to be on the Pinterest? I think I asked you before, but I'm checking. Do you want to be on the Pinterest panel when we do that show? Let me know. But back to this. So Henneke is talking about the secret ingredient that turns casual readers into avid fans. And I say you can take the word readers or writing, and you can think of this in terms of content in general. But I'm going to go to the bottom of the article kind of in closing. So some of the headings also really take you down the path to what she's talking about here. With a restaurant isn't just about a menu and interior design, right? There's something more. There's something else that has to do with the feeling, the atmosphere, personality of it. And that's the same with your writing. Oh, yay. Thanks, Lisa. She's going to do it with us. James, if you're around or if you hear the rewind, Lisa's a for sure on that with the Pinterest panel. Pinterest panel, say that 3 times fast. So that then she says, it's the intangible. It's the intangible that makes us connect and feel welcome. And I think there's something to that. And then she says the secret ingredient in your writing, and again, let's replace writing with content, and especially in a social media context where we're really, really trying to get that engagement, that connection, that interaction with people. So plenty of writers, she says, use useful tips about the same topics that you and I write about. It's if you just share tips, it's easy to swap one writer for another. Or worse, AI could write those tips. But to build a loyal audience, you need to engage people personally. So they come back because they know you and like you and trust you. They smile at your stubbornness. And I am so stubborn trying to make this YouTube and live streaming and the marketing mirror go. So I smiled at her saying, people smile at your stubbornness. And people who know me know how hard and how long I've been working on all this stuff. They forgive you for a badly written post. They shake their heads at strongly worded views, but they also feel heard because you understand them and you know their struggles. They feel your compassion. They feel at home and they're waiting for the next blog post or newsletter or video, or I'm going to add all that other content, but she's talking about writing here, or LinkedIn post to arrive. They want to hear from you. This is what we want, right? We want people to want to hear from us, to be like, yeah, what has she got to say today that I'm going to learn from, or whatever, or get a get a trip or tip on. So your secret ingredient of your writing is you, with capital letters. You're the only one that can make your content really work. You, by telling more about yourself, by sharing your enthusiasm or your doubts. And readers don't read your content for your tips. They come back to be inspired. So as we're rethinking the chaos of social media platforms, the changes going on in each platform, in the world, all the stuff, we want to still have that enthusiasm and share our doubts and be inspiring, right? Be inspiring somehow. And then she says, then they will come back to hear your voice. They come back because of you. And I think that's really wonderful. So I hope that you guys enjoyed today's discussion. Do I have any comments that I missed? I don't think so. If you have any questions about your content strategy or your blog strategy, your email marketing strategy. I hope you're working on a welcome series. We had Sharon Hurley Hall on recently. If you didn't catch that show, she talked about how to start, what reasons, what to put in newsletters, if you should monetize, and how or why you might do that, or how you might do that, or if you want to do that. She talked about, she said some things that weren't what we would expect as the answers. And so it's good to get these fresh perspectives. We talked to Jamie Shine on the show about top of funnel marketing way back at the beginning in an audio event, but she was just on last week to talk about LinkedIn and whether you should have a profile page or a business page. And that was really an interesting discussion. I think that we learned a lot, and we talked about some of the newest, latest things going on LinkedIn. Lisa Sicard and I talked about Twitter and whether Twitter is really dead. We think not. We think definitely not, because everywhere you go, you see things reported on or by or through Twitter. Twitter is relevant. Twitter is fun for some of us. So I think that, like Miss Eileen said, don't let these platforms or their owners or any of the chaos kill your joy in what you're doing with social media and with your marketing, with your digital endeavors. But what you do need to do is step out of the usual and make your content more meaningful, make it more intentional, create those pathways for people to come back to you and to want to work with you. That's really the key, I think, in everything. So on that note, I'm just going to say thank you so much for stopping on the show. Thank you for your comments as always. I really appreciate you being here, and I look forward to seeing you again. And also stop in and check out my Buy Me a Coffee site. I'm going to leave you with a little think ditty on that. So have a great day, everybody. Thank you for being here. I really, really appreciate it. Oh, wait, somebody's talking to me. Better find out. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I always have to say thank you. I really appreciate you guys. It means the world to me. It makes it worthwhile, trying to step out of the box and trying to be here, because this has been a long time coming for me to, show up here by myself on video and do this stuff. And I'm trying to get better every time. And that's what I want all of you to do. Try to get better with each and every attempt, with each and everything you do in digital and in marketing. Okay, have a great day. Thanks for being here. I'm Sue Ann with Right Mix for Business. You've been listening to The Marketing Mirror.
Electricast.
Hey guys, it's Sue Ann. I'm so happy to invite you to my new membership community called Inside the Marketing Mirror. Let's go a little deeper into digital. Let's learn and grow together. Let's, for the price of a cup of coffee a month, jump into this private studio for exclusive content, deeper dive learning, and surprise events. So come on in, my friends and colleagues, through my new Buy Me a Coffee membership. And whether you make the events or not live as a member, all the content will be available exclusively to you in the studio library. I can't wait to see you.